21. Savage and Elle might be done after Savage and Kendall Jenner got caught on camera walking to their suites at Super Bowl. At least that's what the internet's saying. Elle's clearly a jealous lover, but is she calling it quits over a clip? Let's break this all down. The Super Bowl sighting, February 8th, 2026. Super Bowl 60. Levi Stadium out in Santa Clara, California. The New England Patriots going at it with the Seattle Seahawks, the whole country tuned in, celebrities posted up all through the building, and right in the middle of all that, a clip dropped that had absolutely nothing to do with what was happening on the field. The NFL posted a video on Instagram showing 21 Savage and Kendall Jenner arriving together, walking toward their suites. That's it. That's the whole play. Two famous people walking down the same hallway at the same time, getting escorted to their seats at the biggest game of the year. But the internet don't need much to run with something. And this right here, this was more than enough to set it off. The clip went viral within minutes. It hit Instagram X, TikTok, Facebook threads, everywhere. People screenshotted it, reposted it, slowed it down, zoomed all the way in. And what everybody clocked, what you couldn't miss, even if you tried, was that 21 Savage appeared to maintain significant distance from Jenner, pressing himself against the wall like the drywall was his safe space. He wasn't walking beside her. He wasn't even looking in her direction. He was, as mad people online put it, hugging the wall and straight up becoming one with the wall. Bro looked like he was trying to phase through the concrete. Now, to understand why this blew up the way it did, you got to understand who these two people are when it comes to the gossip game. Kendall Jenner is a whole Kardashian Jenner. Her love life been tabloid fuel for over a decade. She was rocking with NBA player Devin Booker. She was off and on with Bad Bunny, publicly, privately, with every breakup and makeup tracked by paparazzi and stan accounts in real time. Her recent on and off situation with Bad Bunny, the same Bad Bunny who was headlining the halftime show that very night, was still fresh in everybody's head. She even starred in a Fanatic sportsbook commercial, clowning her own Kardashian curse on ex-boyfriends' careers, and that joint aired during the broadcast. So, the timing of her being spotted with any dude, let alone a rapper of 21 Savage's caliber, was straight up gasoline on dry wood. And 21 Savage ain't just some random rapper you can link to whoever. He's been locked in with Elle, a confirmed long-term relationship that took damn near 5 years to go public. A relationship that Elle herself put on Front Street in September 2025, when she called him her husband during a TMZ interview out in New York City. A relationship that fans had been investigating, debating, and playing detective about since late 2020, so when a video dropped showing him strolling alongside Kendall Jenner at the Super Bowl, the question was immediate, and it was loud. Yo, what's really going on? Some outlets ran with it hard. Facebook pages and entertainment accounts posted the clip with captions like, "New man alert?" questioning whether Jenner and 21 Savage were pulling up as a couple. The Mirror straight up asked if they were dating. The memes came quick. The speculation came even quicker. But there was one reaction that hit different from every random fan account post out there. Latto reposted the viral video on her Instagram story with laughing emojis, treating the whole situation like a joke instead of a problem. She didn't post no cryptic message. She didn't go ghost. She didn't unfollow nobody. Shorty laughed. And in the world of celebrity relationships, where a single deleted photo or a muted story can trigger breakup headlines for a whole news cycle, laughter is about as solid a response as you're going to get. The comments came flooding in across every platform. On Instagram, people wrote stuff like, "He made sure to let y'all know they are not together," and 21. Savage didn't want to get in trouble by Elle. On Threads, one user said, "I would hate to be a celebrity. They're probably just being escorted to their seats at the same time and now they're being linked together." Over on Reddit, somebody commented, "Now people will say she is dating him," which no way. Catching the skepticism that was running right alongside the hype. So the video dropped, the internet bugged out, Lad laughed it off, and the question just hung there. But to really answer it, to truly get why this moment hit the way it did, you got to understand the relationship it was supposedly threatening. And that story starts 5 whole years before anybody was walking through a stadium hallway. The low-key link. The thing between Latto and 21 Savage didn't kick off with a red carpet debut, or a couple's photo on the gram, or paparazzi catching them kissing outside some restaurant. It started in the cut wrapped in layers of intentional secrecy, that would take damn near half a decade to fully unravel. And the roots of that secrecy run deep into the circumstances that brought these two into each other's orbit in the first place. In late 2020, Latto, born Alyssa Michelle Stevens, already building serious momentum off her breakout joint. From Dow and her tape, Queen of Dow linked up with 21 Savage on a track called Pull Up. It was a standard feature, the kind of collab that happens every day in the rap game. Two artists in the same lane, laying down a verse, dropping it, keeping it moving. But fans peeped that around December 2020, both of them started posting Instagram stories from what looked like the exact same tropical spot, even though they never showed up together in any of the flicks. The backgrounds looked way too similar. The timing of the posts lined up in a way that felt too tight to be a coincidence, and the internet, always watching, always lurking, started putting pieces together. Late addressed the chatter straight up in interviews, saying they were just performing at the same venue. Fair enough. That's a reasonable explanation. But it did next to nothing to slow down the curiosity, because the breadcrumbs kept dropping in ways you couldn't just wave off. In early 2021, 21 Savage posted a photo of Elle on his Instagram story with the caption, "No makeup, damn, you fine," before deleting it real quick. That ain't how you move with a casual collaborator. That's somebody who slipped up for a second and then tried to walk it back, but not before the screenshot culture of social media had already snatched and circulated the receipts. By April 2021, fans spotted what appeared to be 21 Savage's shadow in one of Lat's photos, further suggesting they were spending heavy private time together while being meticulous about never ending up in the same frame. This was the pattern that defined the first 2 years of whatever they had going on. Proximity without acknowledgement, closeness without confirmation, a whole relationship existing in the negative space between posts. And Latto, to her credit, stayed consistent about maintaining that boundary. She talked in multiple interviews about how she valued keeping the sacred parts of her life private, refusing to name her man, even as she dropped tantalizing hints about being spoiled by somebody with deep pockets, about getting flown out, about being locked in with someone she clearly had real feelings for. She gave the audience the silhouette of a love story while keeping the most critical detail who completely off the record. The secrecy made sense when you looked at the full picture of what both of them were navigating at the time. Elle was on the come-up for real, making the transition from reality TV recognition on the rap game to legit hip-hop credibility. 21. Savage was still dealing with the fallout from his 2019 ICE situation, which had put his UK origins on blast and raised ongoing questions about his immigration status. Both of them had real legitimate reasons to keep their personal lives away from the blogs and the media, and those reasons went beyond personal preference. They were, in a lot of ways, moves of self-preservation. By late 2021, social media investigators had connected them to the same vacations in Puerto Rico, despite the continued absence of any joint content. The circumstantial evidence was stacking up like bricks, building a wall that both of them kept swearing didn't exist. In 2022, Latto talked in interviews about being flown out on private jets by her mystery man, which happened to line up perfectly with 21 Savage posting from similar exotic locations. They collabed again that year on Wheelie from Lat's 777 project, giving fans another data point to dissect for hidden romantic meaning. And when somebody pressed him on it directly, 21 Savage denied having a celebrity girlfriend in a Clubhouse chat, throwing another denial on top of a pile of evidence that was getting harder and harder to ignore. Then the tattoos came into play. In February 2023, fans clocked a tattoo behind Elle's ear reading Shia 21 Savage's government name, Shia bin Abraham Joseph. Not long after, he showed off a matching Alyssa tattoo. Look, you can deny a vacation. You can explain away an Instagram story. You can say a Clubhouse denial got taken out of context. But when two people got each other's real names permanently inked on their bodies, that's a different weight class of evidence entirely. The tattoo discovery was the moment the conversation shifted from maybe they're together to come on now, obviously they're together. Even if neither of them was willing to say it out loud, bars kept dropping too. Latto slid in references to a UK partner in her tracks throughout 2023 and into 2024, nodding to 21 Savage's British roots, about as subtle as a billboard for anybody paying attention. But still, nobody confirmed a thing. The code of silence held even as the proof became overwhelming. It finally cracked in August 2025. Paparazzi got grainy footage of the two of them together on a vacation in St. Vincent, marking the first time they were publicly spotted together after roughly 5 years of rumor and speculation. The footage was grainy. It was shot from a distance, but it was undeniable, and it set the table for what went down the following month. In September 2025, Latto confirmed the whole thing during a TMZ interview in New York City, hype as hell, calling 21 Savage my man multiple times and dropping the word husband. After years of keeping it under wraps, after half a decade of running one of the tightest information lockdowns in modern celebrity culture, Elle just said it on camera, no filter, and the confirmation went crazy viral with posts pulling over 83,000 views as fans celebrated what they had suspected the whole time. This is the relationship that one hallway walk at the Super Bowl was supposed to shake. 5 years of moving in silence, matching ink, lyrical confessions, a public confirmation, and the word husband. All of it supposedly undone by a clip of two people getting walked to their seats. When you understand the depth and the duration of what Latto and 21 Savage built together, the Super Bowl rumor starts looking real flimsy. But it also explains why the rumor generated the reaction it did. Because when folks have been invested in a secret love story for 5 years, even the smallest crack in the foundation becomes breaking news. The baggage, cheating talk, the ex-wife, and the gorgeous doll situation. The Super Bowl sighting didn't land clean. It landed on top of years' worth of accumulated mess, unresolved allegations, persistent whispers, and lingering drama that had been trailing Elle and 21 Savage's relationship from day one. And while the Kendall Jenner moment turned out to be nothing more than a coincidental walk down a corridor, the wildfire intensity of the public's reaction can only make sense when you account for all the smoke that came before. Because this couple had been catching strays of speculation long before anybody hit record in a stadium hallway. The heaviest and most potentially damaging thread woven through this whole narrative involves 21 Savage's marriage, not his situation with Lat, his actual legal marriage. Back in 2023, reports dropped claiming that 21 Savage's wife had filed for divorce after finding out about his involvement with Latto, with allegations that he had used the marriage primarily as a pathway to U.S. citizenship before pursuing Lau more openly. That accusation carried serious weight given 21 Savage's well-demented immigration drama. His 2019 ICE arrest had exposed the fact that he was born in London, England, and the question of how he maintained his legal status in the States had never been fully settled in the public eye. The suggestion that his marriage was more of a strategic play than a genuine commitment added a whole layer of moral murkiness to his relationship with Latto that fans couldn't easily square away. Some Instagram users were in the comments saying, "The marriage not even real. He needed to stay here. He paid that lady off." While others on X were more measured about it, with one person writing, "So 21 Savage married that lady for citizenship, but also had kids with her. His wife seems to not have the issue." So the ex-wife situation put Latto in an uncomfortable position within the whole narrative. For a significant chunk of the public, the timeline of her involvement with 21 Savage starting in late 2020, while he was reportedly still legally married, reframed her not as the main character in a love story, but as the other woman in somebody else's. One X-post from October 2024 straight up said, "Latto literally had to hide 21 Savage for 2 years because she was his side chick, pulling in over 300 likes and feeding a side piece narrative that Elle's supporters pushed back on hard but could never fully put to rest." The secrecy that had initially looked like two people protecting something real and precious from the outside world now looked through a different lens, like two people concealing something far less admirable. And the cheating rumors didn't stop with the marriage question. They kept multiplying and branching off in new directions. In 2024, word got around that 21 Savage was supposedly messing with rapper City, a claim that briefly electrified the timeline given the existing competitive dynamics among women in the rap game. The allegation had the kind of explosive potential that could spark an all-out beef between two prominent female artists. But City moved fast to shut it down, denying any issue with Latto and chalking the whole thing up to coincidental travel. The fire got stomped out before it could really spread. But the residual smoke lingered in the collective memory of fans who were already conditioned to side-eye 21 Savage's loyalty. That same year, 2024, delivered yet another seismic moment in the ongoing saga. Latto unfollowed 21 Savage on social media after he yet again declined to publicly confirm their relationship. In the language of celebrity social media, an unfollow ain't an accident. It ain't ambiguous. It's the digital version of slamming a door in somebody's face and making sure the whole neighborhood heard it. And fans read it exactly that way, treating it as proof that the relationship was either crumbling or already done. Latto addressed the swirling noise in her characteristically guarded way, not confirming a breakup and not denying the friction, leaving everybody to fill in the blanks with their own theories and worst-case scenarios. But the most explosive chapter in the whole pre-S Super Bowl saga, the one that really had the streets talking, was the Gorgeous Doll incident. In 2025, influencer Gorgeous Doll, real name Jessica Christian, came out and alleged that Latto had orchestrated a physical attack on her over comments Doll had made about Latto getting a married man's name tattooed on her body. The severity of the accusation was staggering. Doll claimed the assault resulted in a miscarriage, which elevated what had been blog-level gossip into territory, with genuinely devastating, potentially criminal implications. The allegation drew intense heat on social media, with Instagram commenters going at Latto for being involved with a married man and questioning whether this relationship, the one that had seemed so enviably private and protected, was actually built on a foundation of real harm done to other people. Elle's response was calculated but telling. She addressed the controversy broadly, stating, "The internet don't know a goddamn thing." A blanket dismissal that acknowledged the noise without engaging with any single allegation on its merits. It was the same playbook that had served her well throughout the years of secrecy. Don't give the rumors oxygen. Let them burn themselves out, redirect attention to the music in the bag. But the Gorgeous Doll situation was fundamentally different from previous rounds of speculation. It had a named accuser. It had specific claims of physical harm. And it painted a picture of Latto not as a private romantic navigating fame with discretion, but as someone willing to go to extreme lengths to protect a relationship she wouldn't even publicly claim. By late 2025, even after Elle's September confirmation had seemingly put the core question to bed. Yes, they're together, she said it herself. Fresh cheating rumors surfaced with no receipts to back them up. In November, a Latto post had fans speculating about a possible breakup, with one ex-user asking, "Is she announcing a breakup with 21 Savage?" based on readings of her lyrics and the visuals she put out. And in early 2026, just weeks before the Super Bowl, rapper Fivio Foreign jumped into the mix during his beef with 21 Savage, going at their relationship directly and dragging old dirt back into the conversation. Posts, sharing throwback ciphers, and calling out what fans labeled shady moves pulled in thousands of views, keeping the stability of the couple firmly up for public debate. This is the landscape the Super Bowl video dropped into. Not some clean, drama-free relationship catching a random L from a coincidental celebrity encounter, but a relationship that had been stress-tested, questioned, attacked, and scrutinized from every possible angle for 5 straight years. The Kendall Jenner sighting was, when you really break it down, the least threatening thing that had happened to Latto and 21 Savage in their entire run. But it arrived at a moment when the audience was worn out from the accumulated mess and fully primed to read any new development as evidence of the next crisis, the Kendall Jenner factor. The Super Bowl video would have gotten some traction, regardless of who was walking next to 21 Savage. But the fact that it was Kendall Jenner, specifically her, specifically on that night, turned what should have been a minor celebrity coincidence into an all-out viral spectacle. And understanding why that happened requires breaking down what Jenner represents in the broader ecosystem of tabloid culture and how her particular history created the perfect storm for maximum chaos. Kendall Jenner doesn't move through public life the way most celebrities do. She moves through it as a Kardashian Jenner, which means every single aspect of her personal world, every relationship, every split, every appearance at every function, gets processed through the lens of one of the most heavily documented family dynasties in entertainment history. Her love life specifically has been a recurring plotline for over a decade, feeding a constant stream of content to gossip blogs, fan pages, and social media commentators who treat her dating decisions like episodes in a show they've been binge-watching since the mid-2010s. The roster of past relationships is long and high-profile. She rocked with NBA player Devin Booker. She was linked up with Bad Bunny. Harry Styles was in the picture. Each situation got dissected in real time, with every public outing scrutinized for signs of affection, tension, or the beginning of the end. And every breakup kicked off its own cycle of mourning, speculation about the next man, and retrospective analysis of where things went sideways. Jenner's history of high-profile relationships, including the recent on-and-off saga with Bad Bunny and past involvements with NBA players like Devin Booker, means that being seen in the vicinity of any man in any setting is automatically treated as a potential romantic development. That's just the tax that comes with being who she is. Super Bowl night amplified all of this in ways that were almost surgical in their precision. Bad Bunny headlined the halftime show. Kendall Jenner's ex was performing on the biggest stage in American entertainment, and she was in the building watching it happen. Reports confirmed Jenner was at the Super Bowl, with some outlets noting she had been intentionally single since her split from Bad Bunny in September 2024, focusing on her career. The narrative wrote itself with zero effort required. A single woman pulling up to an event where her ex is the main attraction, accompanied by a different famous man. The tabloid machine was built to process exactly this kind of scenario, and it processed it at top speed. Throwing even more fuel on the fire was the Fanatic Sportsbook commercial that aired during the broadcast, where Jenner joked about the so-called Kardashian curse, the long-running internet theory that dating a Kardashian-Jenner tanks a professional athlete's career. The commercial was self-aware and playful, leaning all the way into the narrative that had followed her for years. And it meant that when the 21 Savage walking video surfaced, the audience was already locked in on her dating life. The commercial had essentially primed tens of millions of viewers to associate Kendall Jenner with romantic speculation on that exact night at that exact event. The algorithm couldn't have scripted it better. The combination was devastating for anybody hoping the video would come and go quietly. You had a Kardashian-Jenner, the celebrity category most synonymous with relationship drama in American pop culture. You had her at the Super Bowl, the event with the largest simultaneous viewership in the country. You had her ex-boyfriend rocking the halftime stage, providing an emotional narrative hook that guaranteed wall-to-wall coverage. You had a self-referential commercial about her love life, making sure the topic was already front and center in everybody's mind. And you had 21 Savage, a man in a confirmed, recently publicized relationship with somebody else who has her own massive fan base. Each of those elements individually would have generated some buzz, but stacked together, they produced a reaction that was wildly disproportionate to the reality of two people walking through a corridor at the same time. NFL fans on X and other platforms reacted with a mix of jokes and side-eyes, some calling Jenner a fake fan for showing up mainly to watch her ex Bad Bunny perform, while others zeroed in on the perceived chemistry or the very obvious lack thereof between her and 21 Savage. Entertainment sites like Page Six shifted their coverage to Jenner awkwardly dancing to Bad Bunny's halftime set, pivoting the story from new couple alert to woman watches her ex perform live, which was arguably more compelling content to begin with. And this is the critical takeaway about the Kendall Jenner factor. She didn't have to do a single romantic thing for the speculation to blow up. Her presence alone was enough. The celebrity gossip machine doesn't require evidence. It requires proximity, timing, and names people recognize. All three boxes got checked on February 8th, and the result was exactly what you'd expect. The rumor was never actually about whether 21 Savage and Kendall Jenner were kicking it. It was about the fact that someone with her specific reputation was caught on camera next to someone with his specific complications at an event, featuring her specific ex-boyfriend on a night her specific commercial was airing to 100 million viewers. The rumor was built into the architecture of the situation before either one of them took a single step down that hallway. And that's also exactly why the rumor was always going to be short-lived, because rumors that are born from circumstances instead of substance fall apart the second you remove any one of the conditions holding them up. The Super Bowl ended, the commercial stopped running, Bad Bunny left the stage, and 21 Savage went back to his life with Elle, where matching tattoos and 5 years of real history outweigh a 30-second on clip that was never about what people wanted it to be about, the real situation. After the viral storm, after the memes, the hot takes, the breathless posts, and the paragraphs of speculation, the conclusion is as straightforward as it gets. There is no romantic connection between 21 Savage and Kendall Jenner. There wasn't one before the Super Bowl. There isn't one now. And the evidence backing that up isn't murky or debatable. It's thorough and it's clear. Start with the record. Research into their interactions reveals minimal to no documented connections outside the February 8th, 2026 Super Bowl sighting. No credible reports of them being cool. No prior sightings of them together. No evidence that they've ever been homies, collaborators, or associates in any real capacity. Extensive searches across web and X platforms for any pre-2026 interactions turned up absolutely nothing, strongly suggesting the Super Bowl was the first time these two were ever in notable public proximity, period. Their professional and social worlds, while loosely overlapping the way all celebrity circles do, have genuinely never intersected in any documented way. 21 Savage's lane is Atlanta Bab-based hip-hop, running it up with collaborators like Drake and Metro Boomin. Kendall Jenner's lane is global fashion and reality television. He came up in 2015 through mixtapes and a street-level authenticity that defined his whole brand. She came up through a family empire spanning TV, beauty, fashion, and social media influence. Their careers have not crossed paths publicly before 2026. Unlike Jenner's connections to musicians like Bad Bunny or Harry Styles or Savage's collabs with other artists in the hip-hop space, these are two people who exist in the same broad atmosphere of fame, but have never actually shared the same air until a stadium hallway made it happen by accident. The one tangential link that exists in the historical record is so irrelevant it's almost funny. Back in 2016, 21 Savage publicly shot his shot at Kendall's sister, Kylie Jenner, on social media while she was with Tiger. That's a different Jenner. That was a decade ago. And it led to absolutely nothing. Not a DM, not a date, not even a follow-up post. It's the kind of footnote that only gets pulled up when you're desperately grasping for any thread to connect two people who have no actual connection. Multiple sources and insiders stepped up to set the record straight after the video went viral. Reports made it clear that their arrival together was coincidental, likely due to shared celebrity access points or mutual connections within the venue's VIP setup, and was not indicative of any personal relationship. Entertainment outlets like Page Six described it as part of a group movement with other people present, not some intimate couple's entrance. Additional reports clarified they were most likely in shared celebrity access areas, and 21 Savage's deliberate wall hugging was read as loyalty to his girl Lat, not avoidance of a friend. The wall pressing that spawned 1,000 memes wasn't evidence of hidden romance caught on camera. It was evidence of a man in a committed relationship doing exactly what you'd expect a man in a committed relationship to do when cameras are rolling and he's walking near a woman who ain't his partner. That's not suspicious behavior. That's solid behavior. On Kendall Jenner's end, the picture is equally uncomplicated. She has been intentionally single since her split from Bad Bunny in September 2024, focused on her career. As she confirmed in interviews, her showing up at the Super Bowl is consistent with how she's always moved. She attended Super Bowl LVI in 2022 with then-boyfriend Devin Booker and Super Bowl 2024 with Hailey Bieber. The Super Bowl ain't an unusual spot for Kendall Jenner. She pulls up. She's always pulled up. The fact that she went this time and happened to get walked through the same corridor as 21 Savage at the same moment is the kind of thing that happens when hundreds of celebrities are being funneled through the same security checkpoints, the same VIP entrances, and the same hallways on the same night. And on 24 Savage's side, the proof of his ongoing commitment to Lad is stacked and undeniable. He's in a confirmed relationship with Latto, publicly acknowledged with her calling him her husband, and references woven into his music. The matching tats are still there. The September 2025 confirmation hasn't been walked back. The 5-year history is intact and untouched. As of February 2026, they appear to be maintaining a solid, low-key partnership, sharing indirect nods like coordinated fits and event appearances while keeping the overt public displays to a minimum. Nothing about the Super Bowl clip changed any of that. Not one thing. The emphasis on 21 Savage's deliberate distancing turned the whole incident into a meme rather than credible romance news. The wall hugging became the punchline, not the walking together. The lasting takeaway from this whole thing isn't 21. Savage might be messing with Kendall Jenner. It's 21. Savage turned himself into a human pancake against a wall to make absolutely sure nobody thought he was messing with Kendall Jenner. That distinction matters heavy. The viral moment actually reinforced the strength of his relationship with Latto rather than putting a dent in it. A dude who didn't care about his girl's feelings wouldn't have flattened himself against the drywall on camera for the whole world to see. And Latto's response, the laughing emojis, the repost, the complete absence of any alarm or anger, tells the rest of the story on its own. She wasn't shook, she wasn't worried, she wasn't in her feelings. She saw the video that the entire internet was having a meltdown over, and she found it funny because she knew what the internet didn't. There was nothing to find. No secrets, no betrayal, no new man alert. Just two famous people getting walked to their seats at a football game while the world watched and manufactured a story that never had legs to begin with. No interviews, photos, or insider accounts reference any mutual events, parties, award shows, or collaborations between 21 Savage and Kendall Jenner from 2016 onward. Any perceived connection appears to be media-driven speculation without any real foundation. The rumors were short-lived social media fodder born from the collision of a massive event, a famous woman's complicated romantic history, a famous man's recently confirmed relationship, and an algorithm that rewards engagement over accuracy every single time. The answer to the question in the title, is 21 Savage's relationship with Latto over, is nah, it's not. It was never in danger. Not from this. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to watch another fascinating video like this, click on one of the boxes on your screen right.